Cultural rights relate to art and culture. The objective of these rights is to guarantee that people and communities have an access to culture and can participate in the culture of their choice. Environmental rights are about the protection of natural resources.
Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia?
What are further and special rights? Further and special rights are rights meant to protect the interests of older members of society, children, youths, and persons with disability. They further protect the rights relating to marriage and family.
Older members of society can participate fully in affairs of society and are entitled to social protection. I am entitled to independent living and personal development.
Youths are entitled to the right to participate in governance and access gainful employment, and participate in social, political, economic, and other spheres of national life.
A child is entitled to adequate nutrition, shelter, basic health care, and social protection, and free primary and secondary education. A person who has attained the age of 19 has the right to choose a spouse of the opposite sex and marry.
Other further and special rights include a person shall not engage a young person in an occupation or employment which will prejudice the health, education, or interfere with the physical, mental, or moral development of that young person.
The state recognizes and protects the family as the natural and fundamental unit of society.
The Bill of Rights states that we are entitled to adequate maternal and paternity leave.
Persons with disabilities have equal rights and opportunities in society.
Persons with disabilities have equal opportunities in cultural, political, economic, and social activities.
Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia?
What are non-derogable rights and freedoms, limitations and derogations? The non-derogable rights and freedoms, limitations and derogations statement of the Bill of Rights explains which rights cannot be taken away from an individual as well as the conditions under which rights can be taken away from an individual. It also states the limitations accorded to individual rights.
In certain circumstances, some rights may be taken away from citizens.
Yes, rights such as freedom of movement and assembly in the public interest.
To derogate is to take away rights from individuals in exceptional circumstances like war or a state of emergency in the public interest.
According to the Bill of Rights, I have the right to a fair trial.
I cannot be detained for more than 14 days without a detailed reason for my detention.
I can seek legal relief from unlawful
They
imprisonment.
say they know their rights.
Yes, they also have the right to a fair trial and non-refoulement, or to be kept from their persecutor if they are victims of persecution.
Limitation clauses in the Bill of Rights enables constitutional rights to be partially limited to a specified extent and for certain limited and democratically justifiable purposes, while prohibiting restrictions that are harmful to democracy by reason on their purpose, nature, or extent.
Some rights may not be taken away.
Like protection from inhuman treatment, fair trial, and non-refoulement.
Security of person, right to a writ of habeas corpus.
Freedom of conscience, belief, and religion.
Protection from slavery, servitude, or forced labor.
Non-derogable rights and freedom pertains to rights that cannot be taken away from citizens regardless of the circumstance.
Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia?
What is enforcement of the Bill of Rights? Enforcement of the Bill of Rights relates to how a person can seek redress in the courts of law due to contravening of the Bill of Rights or violation of another person's rights and freedoms.
The government took the following measures in the realization of the Bill of Rights. The state shall take reasonable measures for the progressive realization of rights.
I can seek redress in the Constitutional Court or another court if the Bill of Rights has been contravened. Or another court that I may have immediate access to.
The decision of the Constitutional Court is final and cannot be appealed. A person may bring an action against the violation of another person's rights and freedoms.
Oh, so if I see my neighbor abusing a dependent, I can take action.
The President shall, each year, when addressing the National Assembly, report on the measures taken by the state in the realization of a Bill of Rights.
Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia?
Repeal and replacement of Article 79.
What is Article 79? What is going to replace Article 79?
Is an article of the Constitution stating that a referendum is held to amend the article itself and the Bill of Rights. Part 19A of the proposed Constitution containing Articles 301, 302, and 303. Article 301 covers amendments to the Constitution, and Article 302 specifies which articles can be amended without a referendum. In addition to the Bill of Rights, Article 303 states articles that should be amended, repealed, and replaced only through a referendum.
Apart from the Bill of Rights, these are some of the issues that will require a referendum. A. Electoral system for presidential and parliamentary elections. B. Tenure, election, vacancy, and swearing in of office of the president and vice presidency. C. Appointment, role, and vacancy in the office of minister and provincial minister.
Article 79 states that for a referendum to pass, more than 50% of the persons entitled to vote should agree on the issue posed in a referendum. While the proposal is to have at least 50% of registered voters turning out to vote and 50% agreeing. Voters have attained the age of 18 and have a green NRC, while the proposal is for one to be a registered voter.
Article 79 does not specify a time frame in which to hold a referendum, while the proposal is to hold a referendum within 120 days.
Do you agree to the amendment to the Constitution to enhance the Bill of Rights contained in Part 3 of the Constitution of Zambia and to repeal and replace Article 79 of the Constitution of Zambia?
No, the current and proposed Bill of Rights, Article 79 and the proposed Articles 301, 302, and 303. Note that the column for the current articles are aligned with the proposed articles that are of a similar nature. Where there is no similarity or comparison, the word none is used. Civil and political rights. Under current articles, 11. Summary of fundamental civil and political rights. Under proposed articles, 11. Status and application of the Bill of Rights. 12. Recognition of the role of civil society organization. 13. Development of further human rights laws and cases interpretation of the Bill of Rights. Under current articles, 12, subsection 2, a person may deprive an unborn child of life in exceptional circumstances. Under proposed articles, 15, subsection 1, the life of a person begins at conception. Under current articles, 13, protection to right to personal liberty. Under proposed articles, 16, freedom of person. 32, access to justice. 33, rights of suspects. 34, rights of persons in custody. 35, rights of accused persons and detainees. Under current articles, 14, protection from slavery and forced labor with exceptions. Under proposed articles, 18, no exceptions on provisions amounting to forced labor. Under current articles, 15, protection from inhuman treatment. Under proposed articles, 17, security of persons and protection from inhuman treatment, including human trafficking. Under current articles, 16, protection from deprivation of property with exceptions. Under proposed articles, 29, no exceptions on provisions on acquisition of property. Under current articles, 17, protection of privacy of home and other property with exceptions. Under proposed articles, 19, protection of privacy of home and other property without exceptions. Under current articles, 18, provisions to secure protection of law. Under proposed articles, 30, equality before the law. 31, fair administration. 32, access to justice. 33, rights of suspects. 34, rights of persons in custody. 35, rights of accused persons and detainees. 36, fair trial. 37, right to retrial and re-examination of evidence. Under current articles, 19, protection of freedom of conscience. Under proposed articles, 20, freedom of conscience, belief, and religion. Under current articles, 20, protection of freedom of expression. Under current articles, 21, protection of freedom of assembly and association. Under proposed articles, 25, freedom of association. 26, right to assemble, demonstrate, picket, and petition. Under current articles, 22, freedom of movement. Under proposed articles, 27, freedom of movement and residence. Under current articles, 23, protection from discrimination on the ground of race, etc. Under proposed articles, 14, protection from discrimination. Under current articles, 24, Protection of young persons from exploitation. Under proposed articles, 50. Further protection of young persons. Under current articles, 25. Derogation from fundamental rights and detention. Under proposed articles, 55. Derogation of rights and freedoms during emergency or national disaster. Under current articles, 26. Provisions relating to restriction and detention. Under proposed articles, 34. Rights of persons in custody. 35. Rights of accused persons and detainees. 36. Fair trial. Under current articles, 27. Reference of certain matters to special tribunals. Under proposed articles, 34, subsection 3, relief of habeas corpus specified. Under current articles, 28, enforcement of protective provisions, High Court. Under proposed articles, 57, enforcement of the Bill of Rights, Constitutional Court. 58, President report on the state of human rights to Parliament annually. Under current articles, 29, declaration of war. Under proposed articles, 198, declaration of war. Under current articles, 30, declaration of public emergency. Under proposed article, 199, declaration of state of public emergency and threatened